This week we're keeping things simple with a rusty nail. Let me show you how to make it. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Matt, I'm the whiskey nerd, and like I said, this week we're keeping things simple with a rusty nail, a cocktail that despite only having 2 ingredients has loads of flavor. So let's get right into what makes this cocktail so special and so full of flavor. It is a Scotch whiskey based cocktail and we're going to be using Monkey Shoulder Scotch. This is a nice blended Scotch. It's a blend of Speyside Scotches, so it's going to be sweet, it's going to have some fruity notes to it, some nice kind of rich maltiness, but it's not going to be smoky, it's not going to be heavily smoky, it's not going to overpower the other ingredient in our cocktail, which is Drambuie. Now, Drambuie is an interesting liqueur. It's a whiskey based liqueur. It also uses some heather honey and some spices to give it a kind of interesting and unique profile. Its original Scottish name, which I might butcher, is Drambuie, the drink that satisfies. Now I might butcher that name because I'm Irish, this is a Scottish word, and despite looking very similar, the 2 languages are often pronounced quite differently, so if I've mispronounced that, let me know down in the comments below. But on Drambuie, the drink that satisfies, or a satisfying drink, is a very kind of good liqueur. It's quite thick, it's quite like honeyed, it's rich, it's sweet, it's spicy. So normally in a cocktail, you'd add your spirit, you'd add something sweet, and you'd add a modifier like bitters or something like that to add some extra dimensions. In this one, we've got our spirit, obviously, is our whiskey, and we've got our sweetener and our modifier together in the Drambuie because it's got that heather honey flavor, it's got that spiciness to it, it's got a nice rich flavor and aroma, and it really does deliver into the cocktail. Now real quick, let's talk ratios. Now this is an interesting cocktail because it's only got 2 ingredients. If you change any of those ingredients, you can end up changing the profile of the cocktail completely. Now a lot of people online will go for a 2-to-1 ratio, that's 2 parts whiskey, 1 part Drambuie. Even Anders Ericsson did that. I find that's a bit too sweet for me. I find it's just because the Monkey Shoulder is already quite sweet, it's just a bit too sweet for me. If you're using a heavier Scotch, less sweet, maybe if even a smoky Scotch, maybe then a 2-to-1 ratio would suit you. But if you're using Monkey Shoulder, personally my preference is a 3-to-1 ratio, so 3 parts of the whiskey and 1 part Drambuie. Now I have seen some people online say a 1-to-1 ratio is where they like it. I think that would melt my teeth. I think that would be way too sweet, but if that's how you like it, that's how you like it. Feel free to play around with the ratios to get it exactly the way you like it, because maybe you have more of a sweet tooth than me. Maybe you're gonna like it a bit sweeter, maybe you won't like it as sweet, but for me, I like a 3-to-1 ratio, so that's what I'm gonna be making. So enough talking, let's make our cocktail. It is a stirred drink, so we're gonna get a mixing glass and we're gonna get a nice rock of ice in there, and we're gonna measure out our ingredients. Like I said, it's a 3-to-1 ratio, so we're gonna go in with 60 ml, sorry, not 30 ml. We're gonna go in with 60 ml or 2 ounces of our Monkey Shoulder Scotch into there. Oh, like I said, nice and rich, nice and sweet. I don't make enough Scotch whiskey cocktails on this channel, which is a bit of a shame because there are some really good flavors you can find in Scotch whiskey and they can deliver really well into a cocktail. So very sweet, very honey. The honey just jumps out of the glass with the Drambuie. So like I said, there we go, that's 20 ml. So 60 ml, 20 ml, that's 3-to-1 ratio of our Drambuie into there. And it's just very simple. We're gonna stir it down for about 20-25 seconds until it gets nice and cold. Okay, I think that is nicely chilled now, so we're gonna get ready to strain it out into our glass. We'll be serving it in a rocks glass and we'll be serving it on a fresh rock of ice. So let's get that fresh rock of ice in there and let's go to strain it out. So very simple presentation. We're just gonna strain the cocktail over that nice fresh rock of ice. And then to give it a little bit of a lift, a little bit of extra flavor, we're just going to take the oils from a lemon, spread that over the top, just to get a nice little bit of zest, a little bit of zing onto the cocktail to help cut across all that sweetness that we're going to get from our whiskey and from our Drambuie. So that right there is how you make a rusty nail. Now real quick, before I taste this cocktail, if you're new here, scroll down, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button. I put out cocktail recipes on Fridays, whiskey reviews on Wednesdays, and fun little videos on Mondays. So if you want to see more, make sure you hit subscribe. Cheers. That's so nice and rich. I'm very glad I don't go in with that 2-to-1 ratio. I think it's just too sickly sweet. I don't think you would get the flavor from the whiskey coming through the way it does with that 3-to-1 ratio. So obviously the Drambuie, super sweet, super honeyed, floral, a nice bit of spiciness coming through. But then beneath that, you got the rich, malty, kind of biscuity base from the Monkey Shoulder that just shows up at the end, helps the cocktail have a little bit of development coming through. That honeyed note though, so nice and so rich. It's, like I said, a 2-ingredient cocktail, but delivers so much flavor, so much depth and complexity. The little bit of that lemon zest expressed right over the top gives it a little bit of a tang, helps you kind of stand out, helps it be just a little bit different, gives you a little bit extra flavor. All in all, a very simple but very, very nice cocktail. And if you got Scotch, if you've got Drambuie, you should absolutely be making it because it's very simple, very tasty. I'm going to keep on enjoying this, and I will see you next time. Sláinte.